A time of war. A time of homecoming. A time of tyrants. A time when the only way to uphold justice was to break the law. He gave the people the courage to fight. Who stood for freedom became a legend. Kevin Costner, Morgan Freeman, Christian Slater, Alan Rickman, and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. Prince of Thieves.
All right, here we go. Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. It is week 2 of Kevin Costner November, and we got to enjoy Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, a movie that's going to probably be a real split decision here on the show.
Prince of Thieves. It's funny. We'll talk about it in the
not to be confused
phase.
with Passion of the Christ, which is the Prince of He.
My score has definitely changed from when I watched it, so I've had a slight change of heart.
I'm curious to which direction.
Yeah,
I'm only assuming it could only have gone up based on our conversation last night.
Yeah. Also, that the people listening can't see this, but Gogs, your background, that was the cereal you were talking about.
That was the cereal. That's the Prince of Thieves cereal.
Weird, because it doesn't even look movie.
Like the little pieces look like dicks. They don't look like arrows.
Well, they also the box isn't Kevin Costner. It's just some painting of Robin Hood. It doesn't. It looks like somebody.
It doesn't say Robin Hood anywhere. And it was produced by Ralston's, who I think just made cereal bags.
They probably just made They probably made that, and they were trying to cash in because you know what I mean. It's what is that? Sean, you always say that legally distinct or whatever. Yeah.
Well, they had I was reading all about the shit. They had the toys for it.
I remember
and,
the toys.
The forest play sets, they just repurposed Star Wars inventory from the Forest Moon of Endor and just made it Robin Hood Sherwood Forest toys.
That's
makes
hilarious.
Sense.
All right. So what did y'all watch this week? Sean?
I was on vacation, so all I rewatched was the entire Mad Max series.
How do you feel about the first one?
It's incredibly boring.
The original, the toe cutter one.
Yeah, Mad Max is in.
It's the worst one.
It's not very good.
It is.
No. It's the most boringest. I don't know if it's just a function of budget or it's just funny when you think about movies that they used to classify as incredibly violent and gruesome and exploitative because it's super tame comparatively.
Well, a guy did die making that movie.
Yeah, but I mean, so did Top Gun.
It didn't get on the
nasties.
Yeah, it didn't get on the screen.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
That's
really?
That stunt's in the movie. That stunt where
the
the guy
motorcycle stunt.
Yeah, when the guy hits the truck on the motorcycle and flies. That guy died.
He should have died for a better movie. Is what he should have done.
Yeah, that guy died because they Sean gave me this documentary, or I might have borrowed it and never gave it back. Sorry. But he gave me a great documentary called Not Quite Hollywood, and it's all about the Australian film scene, and they talk a lot about the making of Mad Max. Basically, they like didn't have a film industry, so they were just like, we're gonna make a movie, and they didn't know what they were fucking doing. So it was like everything was like super unsafe, like super low budget. Like
he probably got up to the pearly gates and was like, "At least I gave my life for a good movie." And St. Peter was like, "Well,
yeah, I got
the time makes fools of us all."
At least it wasn't that movie that we watched where like the zombies had like turned into gasoline or whatever.
Oh, fucking! People loved that movie too.
It was fucking terrible.
Oh, what was that called?
I think we did an episode on it.
Not Bloody Acres. That movie was good.
No, that movie rocked. I don't remember. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. Road Warrior's still like excellent.
Yep.
There's not a whole lot to say about that.
Wormwood.
Sorry.
That's it.
Wormwood. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Beyond Thunderdome, I find like unwatchable past the halfway point of the movie. Like it's
once it gets to the captain, whatever his name is.
Yeah, like with all the fucking Master Blaster and who runs Bartertown and all that bullshit's fun. But like once it gets to the like Lost Boys part, it's like I can't even fucking deal with it. Like I had to shut it off because I'd already seen it a few times and I knew what happened. But it had that thing we've been complaining about lately with just like it has to revolve around like why the fuck do I need to have kids in my Mad Max movie? Like why is that a thing? And then Fury Road's still one of the best movies ever made. So
well, I think like I remember reading somewhere that the reason that Thunderdome did that is because they were trying to like soften it up because they felt like it needed more like mass appeal, so they threw kids in it. And they wanted to make it more like family friendly or whatever.
It seems like kind of late in the game to be concerned about that on the third movie, you know? Like I don't know, like it's not good at all. Like it's a movie I thought I had some kind of like affection for because I saw it on HBO 10 million times. But nah, like it gets worse every time I see it. So it's got that kind of like where people say the Star Trek, the even numbered ones are good, I guess, kind of.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because I mean, like the Road Warrior and Fury Road are like Fury Road is kind of like a soft remake of Road Warrior in a lot of ways.
Well, it's funny like whenever I think Mad Max, my mind immediately just goes to the Road Warrior. Like that's always that's like the definitive Mad Max experience until
I don't think
Fury
a lot of people actually saw the original Mad Max. Like, I mean, they saw it in the 70s, but like people our age, like I didn't see it till I was an adult.
I saw it way after I saw the Road Warrior. Like way after.
I saw it when I was really young because it was one of those like we've talked about this phenomenon a lot, but like there used to be this class of movies that you'd find in like the shitty electronic section of like a Kmart or a Caldor, but they would repurpose like famous people's like early movies, and it would be like Mel Gibson in Mad Max, and I got the tape for like $7 or something.
Or like what was it, Jennifer Aniston and Matthew McConaughey? Or no, it was Matthew McConaughey in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah.
Dude, sign me up for the Mel Brooks Mad Max though.
But that used to be like a thing. That was, and I mean, it's probably still a thing, but it was definitely back in like the home video days, and that's how I watched it. And I was bored out of my mind.
You can still find that stuff. Like Sean, I don't know if you see him at work, but like I've seen him at Targets and Walmarts. Like the Matthew McConaughey thing. It'll have like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and like Angels in the Outfield, and like all the shit he did before he was famous.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can even find like a bunch of like with the Blu-rays, you can probably find like 10 packs of them for like $8.
Oh yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, they do that where they package a lot. They'll put like one movie I want to watch in there, but you have to buy like 8 other movies that I have no interest in actually seeing.
Yeah, like isn't the only way you can get Crow City of Angels isn't one of those, like if you want it on Blu-ray you got to buy it with like 6 other like really bad movies. I think I was trying to buy that movie and it's like not available unless you find it in one of those crazy bonus pack things.
Yeah, there's like the Crow 5, the Crowaning,
the Crowaning
robots.
And one of like the hundreds of Facebook film groups I'm in, somebody brought up Wicked Prayer and I just lost it. I was like,
like they brought it up in a good way?
No, thank God, no.
Yeah, like how would that even come up?
I don't know. Anytime that's one of those movies that we've reviewed and like it's just like if that movie, like, it's just, you don't ever expect it to show up in any conversation, you know?
Yeah, I know. Like,
Unless you're just discussing Eddie Furlong's career.
Yeah, like who's actually seen that movie? Like, I don't. We went.
It was impossible.
Fucking,
it was impossible to see.
Did we have to watch it on like Russian locker?
We did. It was legit like .ru, and it buffered the whole fucking movie.
Anything else?
Brutal.
Sean?
No, that was it.
And you passed the mic
Alec.
too.
I didn't watch anything, Gogs.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
I watched the other half of Centurion, still absolutely slaps. And I felt really bad about myself earlier this week, so I watched.
As you should.
Yeah, so I watched.
For a specific reason.
Huh? Oh no, dude, no, this is for a specific reason. This wasn't just for like normal, just hating myself. And I watched.
Gotcha.
I wanted to feel better about myself, so I watched the movie about the flat earthers because I was like, okay, I can just dunk on them for 2 hours.
The one where they set up the whole experiment and prove that they're wrong.
And they prove that the Earth is like a ball that's spinning, and they just like, well, we can't accept this.
I think Alec watched that, right, Alec?
Behind the curve.
No, I watched the one about the guy who built his own rocket so he could go up and see the flat Earth. And
I like that one too.
He's dead now. His rocket exploded or crashed or something.
Yeah, his rocket exploded. He's Rocky. He. Yeah, I love that. That's my favorite Schadenfreude movie of all time. Oh, I also watched. Oh, so go ahead, Sean.
No, I was just gonna say he died from being too based.
Yeah. Speaking of Schadenfreude movies, have you seen Grizzly Man?
That's the guy who got eaten by bears. So he thought he was going to be the bear's best friends.
Yeah.
No, I've not seen it, but I'm very well aware of the.
It's pretty great. It's a pretty great movie. Like,
he thought he was going to be like Ranger. What's his name? He's going to have Yogi and Boo Boo, and next thing you know, he's grubbed on
bears.
Yeah, well, you know what? You mess with the bear, you get the teeth. I don't know.
I mean, I get where he's coming from. Bears are adorable, but like,
they're fucking you're taught to hug them.
Didn't he fucking what was it like? I forgot. Oh, it was like bears out in some remote place like nobody would ever go to that he felt like he needed to defend.
It was in like Montana or something, like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
he's like those scientists that went to those those unexplored islands and we're going to go turn these people into Christians and they end up being soup. Just don't go.
They're not scientists. They are
Christian scientists.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
They have those monitors in this region.
Just like a few years ago.
They were full
on.
They were
some
full on
island
rapists.
Where is the island? In like the South Pacific or something?
Yeah, and they got arrowed to death.
Yeah, like you literally, they have like markers. Like you cannot get closer to this island than this close. And he was like, God will protect me. And he didn't, because there is no God.
It's like
damn right.
That, what is it, an Arthur meme where it's like, that sign doesn't apply to me because I can't read.
Yeah. What's his sister? D or whatever his sister's name is.
Yeah. I also watched. I watched one episode of the movie.
What did you watch that made you? Why did you? Oh, you watched the Flat Earthers because you wanted to feel better about yourself.
That's 100% correct. And then I watched the RoboCop episode of the Movies That Made Us, and it was fucking excellent.
I love RoboCop.
Have you ever watched RoboCop TV series?
I have watched
like the cartoon, like when we were kids.
No, there's a live action TV.
There's like 4 of them. There's one called like Prime Directives. There's one.
Is it new?
No, it's like Canadian.
I remember.
I'm not familiar with those.
I remember watching it when it came out. It came out around the same time as like when the Highlander show was in like syndication. And I remember it was pretty bad.
It was written by the screenwriters like Ed Neumeyer and the other guys. So like I'm curious to actually watch it.
Is it available anywhere?
I don't know. I'm sure. Well, you would know everything's available somewhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean like in easier means, like streaming.
I have no idea.
But yeah, the Movies That Made Us was really fucking. I forgot that it was originally an X-rated movie, and that they had to like fix it, like
X-rated due to violence, which like in this day and age seems so absurd because
it's
like
so violent it'll make you bust.
And that's like like no, it's and what's his name? The guy from I can never remember the actor's name from that '70s show.
Red Foreman.
Yeah, Red Foreman.
Kurtwood Smith was the guy's name.
Yeah.
His movie is Clarence Boddicker, right?
Clarence Boddicker in the movie. Yeah, Kirkwood Smith. Like his interviews are like really. Peter Weller apparently must have a chip on his shoulder about that movie because is he dead? He's not dead, is he?
No,
No, he just started. He just realized that nobody gives a shit about his doctorate and whatever the fuck pottery. So like now he's doing RoboCop stuff, but he was like famously against it for a long time.
Well, he wasn't. They didn't interview him at all for this, but they get like everyone else, and it's like Kirkman Smith's great, like talking about like him and Paul Verhoeven. Like apparently Paul Verhoeven was like a fucking absolute maniac, and like the whole costume set design thing. It was just like it was a classic like story of just like a production that was just like off the rails from Jump Street, and then just ended up being like one of the like definitive science fiction movies of all time with like a name that no one thought would work. Everyone thought it was a working title, and like, nope, that's what we're calling it.
Did the documentary go into how it started out as a Judge Dredd movie?
They started out as a Blade Runner movie.
Oh,
or like a Blade Runner movie.
I mean, who knows? But I read something a long time ago. It was talking about this was when the newer Dredd came out. But they're talking about the history of like the film production of Dredd, and I guess at some point the script for RoboCop was supposed to be a Judge Dredd movie, but who knows?
So the script they go on to. I highly recommend everyone watch it.
It's on Netflix, right?
It's a Netflix show, right? So, but they got one of the costumes though. What's interesting is one of like the sketches for like how they were trying to come up with the RoboCop suit looked just like Judge Dredd's helmet. So there's sort of a little possible link there. Yeah. And apparently Schwarzenegger wanted to be RoboCop, and everybody's like, he's way too beefy because it's like no one's ever going to be like. There's no. Once you put once you put a shit ton of armor on Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's just like. He's so menacing. He looks like Ed 209. Like he's so menacing. Like, what will anyone think there's anything to worry about
here? The robot suit would have to be like. It would have been something.
They say he looked like the Michelin Man. Yeah.
One thing I learned about Arnold today was that he read the script for Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, and it was so terrible. But him and Stallone like fought for every role against each other.
Oh, that's
so he acted interested in it, so that Stallone would like lobby to get it. And Stallone like fought to get it from Arnold, and then he was like, "Man, this thing sucks."
Oh, that rules!
That's amazing.
That's so awesome.
Fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger's 4D chess, like just fucking with like Stallone that's amazing,
dude. Arnold.
But anyway, yeah, that's everything. Centurion, by the way, I know I opened with it. Still kicks a pile of ass. I fucking absolutely love that movie. TJ.
I watched the two latest Marvel films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. One that I loved a lot and I was really surprised by, and one that's absolute dog shit, and I don't think anyone should watch it, and I'm mad that I watched it. The one that I loved was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Honestly, one of the best Marvel movies, because it doesn't feel like a Marvel movie. It feels like a Sui Hark like 1990s Hong Kong like martial arts film with a $200 million budget. I loved it. The fight choreography is fantastic. The storyline is basically self-contained and doesn't really it doesn't really worry about all the other Marvel shit. There's like brief little things that tie it in.
Isn't the Abomination in it?
For like 2 seconds, yeah.
Wow.
And they bring back Ben Kingsley, which is like, a callback to Iron Man 3, which I love. Because basically Tony Leung plays the main character's dad. So they never say it, but he's basically like the real Mandarin. But it's a great movie. Like, I really enjoyed it. I thought it just felt really fresh and original. And I was like, okay, like Marvel's on this, like maybe they're not getting stale. And that leads me to The Eternals, the movie that should have been directed by Zack Snyder. The movie is almost 3 hours long. It's like 2 hours and I think 50 minutes.
Oof.
It is a overwrought fucking mess. Like, it's so fun, and also like every aspect of the storyline is stupid and like underwent no scrutiny by the writers. Like, it's all first draft shit. Like, everything about it. Because like if you stop and think about anything, you're like, wait, what about this? What about that? Oh, well, fuck it, just keep going. All the Eternals have been around since like fucking 800 BC, but they all have fucking accents from different countries that don't exist yet. Like, why is there a Scottish Eternal? Fucking Scotland isn't a thing.
Yeah, that's
trailer,
like he created the accent.
If they went on to actually imply
dummy.
that, yeah, sure. But also, they're all aliens. They should be speaking in some glip gloop language until like they go to modern times. Then I can learn.
Is it like a universal translation conceit? Like
No,
we're supposed to?
They never bring it up ever.
Oh.
Like it's the movie is so fucking.
You know what
stupid.
it looked like? The trailer. I finally settled on. I know you said it looked like a DC movie, which it kind of does. But remember when they were making Inhumans because they didn't have the X-Men? Yeah. Like that's what it looked like. Even though they have the X-Men now, but I assume this was in like pre-production forever ago. It looks like a fucking bargain basement X-Men movie.
It's so bad, and like it's filled with like great actors, but the script is horrible. It's filled with a lot of stuff where you're just like, what? Why would you? What? Huh? Like, what's his name? I don't know why. I forget his name. Gogs, what's his name? Namanjari. What's his first name?
Oh, Camille
Namanjari. Also, he's Pakistani. He plays an Indian guy, which is fine for me. But I know
plays an alien.
Yeah, but he's like becomes a Bollywood star. I don't know. Those two cultures don't get along great. It's not a problem for me. It's just something that stuck out. I was like, I don't know.
Historically, yeah, they hate each other. I learned that in Vertical Limit.
Yeah.
I learned that in real life working with Pakistanis that hated Indians like openly, like it was like the fucking 40s.
But he like basically just dips out before the final battle, and it's like, wait, what? Huh? The movie
with that Lada bitch.
The movie is the worst kind of movie. It's the we're getting the band back together movie for literally 2.5 hours, and then the movie starts, and then it's basically over after one dumb fight scene. It's awful and really boring. I was telling Gogs, if I watched this at home, this wouldn't have passed the 20-minute rule. I would have turned it off. But I had to pay for it, so I was like, I really want to leave, but I paid for this, so I'm going to stick it out.
Who are the villains? Is it the Celestials? Like, what?
Let me tell you about the villains. They're these awful looking... They look like you typed in generic alien monster into Google, and it's like, here you go. It's like, they're called the Deviants, and they're just these fucking lame looking...
The sexual deviants? Like they're Cenobites?
I wish. No, they just look like generic alien monsters. They look like they're such lackluster designs.
They look like, I've seen the pictures. The one looks like the leader of the small soldiers aliens.
Oh, well, that guy. Oh, let me tell you about that guy, Alec. So that guy is like the alpha deviant, and like he doesn't evolve into that form. He doesn't evolve into that form until the movie's almost over, and then he dips, and then he shows up in the last fight, and you're like, wait, who are you again? Like it's so bad. Also, the movie has like tone problems out the ass. Like basically, about the halfway point in the movie, they find out that like their whole lives are lies and the world's gonna end. And like it's literally after that, and it's supposed to be like a very somber scene. There's just like fart. Why did you give me this spit beer? Like it's so bad.
Like feel free to bleep half of this because it's funny when you do it. But like, does it explain why they're not able to interfere with like the universe almost ending?
It's they say it right away, like, because I'm sure everybody had that. It's dumb. Their explanation is fucking stupid. Basically, they are put on Earth by the Celestials to basically shepherd Earth into getting enough population to like feed the other Celestials. It's stupid. So like they're worried that like if the Eternals got into human affairs, they would basically like circumvent their evolution and they wouldn't grow.
How evolved do they have to be eaten? Do Celestials eat people? I thought that was a Galactus thing.
No, it's not eating people. It's very nebulous, and they kind of say it, and they don't really elaborate on it. Basically, they're saying the planet needs to get to a certain population density, so the planet itself gives energy to the Celestials.
Okay.
Dude, I don't know.
Does anybody say mellow greeting, Celestial?
The funny thing is that this movie thinks it's like the biggest problem with the movie is that this movie feels like it thinks it's like doing something like impressive. Like again, it feels like what Zack Snyder was doing with like BVS, where he feels like it's like some important like mythological movie. but like the characters aren't self-serious. They're goofy Marvel characters that are like quipping every 5 seconds.
Like, honest question, like that or the New Gods, which got canceled. Can you even cram that Jack Kirby shit into one movie and have it make any sense at all?
No, and they didn't. Like it didn't at all. I mean, I don't think so. Honestly, dude, to me, like I think that all the like the fourth world stuff with the New Gods and the Eternals, it's a bridge too far. It really is. Like the only way you can make this and make it right is to make it like wacky and like really insane and like colorful and fun. This movie also is like insanely dark. I couldn't see half the fucking shit on the screen. Like, there's no colors in the movie. Like, I hated this. I hated this so fucking much. Like,
and then Blade pops up in the fucking credits or something.
Well, there's two. Oh, the best. There's 2 post-credit scenes, because of course there is. So they introduce fucking Star Fox of all characters, because that's the character that people are gonna come to the
not
fucking
Nintendo 64 Star Fox, my
no,
Star
not
Fox,
do a barrel roll. Yeah,
Star Fox, Thanos' brother.
Wasn't he like a rapist?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Funny thing about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Star Fox is introduced, and then the other credits, post-credit scene. Jon Snow is in the movie for some reason, because he doesn't do anything. Also, like Jon Snow is like he's like a professor or some shit, and he's dating Gemma Chan, who's like basically the main character. She plays Cersei, who's very attractive. I'm not familiar with.
Is that a joke? Like, I know the character's probably named that, but like the Jon Snow's dating Cersei thing.
I mean, yeah. Well, also, you got Rob Stark in the movie too. He plays Icarus.
Also, like going back, hang on. The Star Fox, he was the one with that wacky ass Avengers where they like he raped Carol Danvers and they made her have a kid or some shit where it was like super fucked up. Was
yeah,
that,
but
that
then
was
like
him, right?
the kid was him.
Yes, that was him.
Like birthed himself.
Alec is right. Alec is 1,000% right.
She birthed him.
Yeah.
He was his own father.
Oh, it's like Futurama. It's like Mr. My Own Grandpa thing.
Yeah, he didn't have Delta brainwaves anymore, so he could stop the brain monsters from eating the galaxy.
Alec is 100% right. It's one of the like worst fucking things they ever wrote.
Is it a crime if you give birth to yourself?
Is it a crime?
Well, rape sounds like
against nature, yes, but not like legally.
So anyway, back to Jon Snow and the reason he's in this movie, ? So he's dating Gemma Chan, and I guess like she tells him like for some reason that she's an Eternal and he doesn't believe her, and then they get attacked by the Deviant monster, and then he finally believes her. But then like all his like he just found out like all this shit, like, you know, she's basically 9,000 years old and an alien, and there's other aliens that are going to destroy the Earth, and he's still like goofy and like, can you turn me into a banana? Not much of a wizard. Like literally, these are the this is the dialogue.
Does it touch on the fact that like how fucked up it would be that you would even date people when like your life is that long that they're basically old and dead at the moment?
That relationship is just a blink of the eye. Like,
well, I was, you know, I was thinking about like if you actually approach this movie seriously, the characters of the Eternals would be unrelatable. Like they wouldn't even resemble humans. They've been around for so long. How could their brain, you know what I mean? Like they would just be so fucking weird and different. And that movie kind of is interesting to me. Like these like aliens that are forced to care about people, but like why?
Even though they're so far beyond.
I mean, it's kind of like it's sort of like the Invincible
like Dr.
thing,
Manhattan.
Right? Yeah, like Dr. Manhattan, or kind of like Mark's dad in Invincible. How he's like, I just like them as pets because like they're just gonna die. I'll live for, you know, whatever but anyway, so Jon Snow's in this movie and he doesn't do anything like at all. Also, this movie literally ends with like 3 of the Eternals getting picked up by the Celestial and just yeeting them into the galaxy, and then the credits. But Jon Snow's like, before she gets yeeted into the galaxy, he's like, oh, I found something out about my family history. And then he like at the post-credit scene, the second post-credit scene, he's unboxing the ebony blade, so he's the fucking Black Knight again for reasons. And as he picks up the ebony blade, you hear Mahershala Ali go, "Is it worth it? Or are you ready?" It's like, what is this? What is like? I don't know, man. I hate
it. The vast pantheon of like Marvel comic book characters, like why did they land on Star Fox and Black Knight? Like,
Yeah, are they going to go to fucking Otherworld? Like, are we going to tackle that fucking nonsense
they're
in
gonna
movies?
fight fucking, was it Digitech and all those like British Marvel like Death's Head and shit?
Oh god, yeah, they're gonna fight fucking Jamie Madrox and oh god, like
A Mad Jim Jaspers or whatever.
If they
This is a way they can introduce Betsy Braddock and then
and then put her in
Brian
X-Men,
Braddock
yeah.
and then kind of
Yeah.
figure out a way to finagle.
If this is a backdoor Excalibur plot, I'm into it.
There is no way you're putting fucking Otherworld in a fucking Marvel movie. People are going to be like, "What the fuck?" It's like King Arthur, but it's techno King Arthur.
I would cream my pants if the X-Men's first villain in the X-Men movie is the Phalanx. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Actually, that would,
like how cool would that be? Like if it was
cool, actually,
if they threw them into the fucking orbit into the galaxy, and one of them smashes into Warlock. What are their race called? The Technarchy?
Oh yeah.
The Magus is his father, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Fucking
not Adam Warlock. I mean, yeah,
Warlock.
Yeah, don't explain Douglock at all.
Adam Warlock is going to be in. Adam Warlock is going to be in the next Guardians of the Galaxy. He's played by
Will Poulter. He looks fucking gigantic now.
Big. Anyway, I really hated Eternals, guys. I when it becomes free or on the Plex, I wouldn't even watch it. Like it's that bad. I'll be shocked if any of you actually like it. Like it's
why would you put it on the Plex if you don't want us to watch it? / why would you come to our concert to boo us?
I don't know. The one I'll give the movie two slight points. There's like because the Eternals are basically like they're like a crude Justice League. Like Icarus is the Superman guy. Angelina Jolie is the fucking Wonder Woman character, and you have a Flash character basically. And spoilers, Icarus, like, he goes bad, because of course he does, because it's like he's the Superman character.
Yeah,
but like
he flew too close to the sun.
He literally flies into the sun at the end of the movie. Because
that's way too close.
Symbolism, yeah. But they have a big fight, and the fight at the end between the Wonder Woman character, the Flash, and the Superman character is done pretty well. That was kind of cool, but it took 2 hours and like 36 minutes to get there. Not great. The other thing is, again, Gemma Chan, super hot. I'm not familiar with her. She's very attractive.
Like I asked you this offline, but like, why hire like the director of Nomadland to make your big stupid action figure movie when you can just get like, I don't know, why can't I think of the guy's name that directed Independence Day?
Roland Emmerich.
Yeah, get somebody like that to make your big.
He's got a new movie coming out where the moon falls on the Earth.
Is it called Moonfall?
It is.
Hell yeah!
It really is.
I'm really disappointed that you didn't think it was good because like Nomadland was excellent.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's because it's a smaller movie and she was able to do like a character study of one person instead of
I would love if one of these movies was a character study. That would be amazing.
I would love it. To get back to Sean's point, this apparently was like a passion project for her. So I have no idea. It was terrible.
There's really so many great things. Like I don't want to belabor the point, but there's the Peter David X Factor run. There's a scene where Doc Samson is like doing therapy on all of them. And Quicksilver's explaining why he's such an asshole, and he's just talking about like how fast he moves. He's like, "You ever been behind somebody at the ATM that's taken too long? My entire existence is like that." Like, there's so many like little.
That whole series was so good. Like, that's one of my favorite X-Men comics. Like, full stop. Like,
I fucking love Larry Stroman too.
Yeah.
Like, I wish that guy worked more. But anyway, like they just you've done all the big banging into each other movie. Make like a weird character study. Like, why not? Like, take a chance.
Well, the thing is, they did take a chance with this. Like, it feels like this movie.
No. But I mean, like you guys, I didn't watch
the wrong
it, but
chance.
The WandaVision thing or whatever. Just like everybody loved that, right? Make just some kind of fucking weird, like kind of like left of center idea, and not just like
it's funny
Avengers again.
Well, it's funny because all the critiques go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say like. Everybody loved the Avengers movie because they spent 25 years and 400 movies establishing all the characters and then bringing them together, and everybody fucking dunked on DC because they just tried to throw a whole team together in a movie, and it feels like Marvel's like not learning the lesson from the movies they already made.
Yeah, it's true. Well, and the thing
is they're regressing.
I was really looking forward to this in a weird way because all the critiques I heard of this movie was it's not an action movie and it's a lot of talking. And I was like, oh, that's kind of what I want. Like, I don't need it to be an action movie. The problem is it's not that. Like, it feels like it's trying to tackle like issues and like bigger concepts, but like it doesn't execute anything and it doesn't really stick on any idea for very long. And I don't know. It's just not good. It needed like 3-4 more drafts of this script. Like, it's a mess. Like, it really is a mess. It's one of those movies where like if you pull at any thread, it's just like I was explaining the whole plot to Gogs last night, and he's like, "What about this? What about that? What about that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense." Like,
and I'm not very bright.
Do they do any work to tie anything into like the Marvel universe, like in toto, like or like?
No, they talk about the blip, and ultimately, like, so Selma Hayek's character, Ajak, I think is her name.
Yeah,
she's like the leader of the Eternals, but so. She like they. I don't. Does anybody care about this stupid movie? Alex, do you care? I won't say it if you care. No, I won't say it. You sound like you.
No, go ahead.
No.
That's you can just text me later.
Yeah, I'll just say that that like Selma Hayek mentions the blip, and it furthers her connection to humanity. She feels that humanity is basically worthy because they like came back from the blip. That is the most non-spoilery thing I could say. But yeah, other than that, no, they don't really talk. They talk about how they can't interfere, and like why didn't they interfere in like World War II and the Holocaust and like slavery? But we can't fight the humans' wars and all this dumb crap. So I don't know. I did not like it. It is to me easily the worst Marvel movie. It's worse than Thor: The Dark World because it's like an hour longer. Not a fan. Shang-Chi, big fan. Huge recommend on Shang-Chi. I loved it to death. I think it's great. I don't know who that lead actor is. I'm not familiar with him, but I thought he was really, really good. Awkwafina is okay. She's a little annoying, a little too jokey, but that's kind of her function in the movie. But I really loved it.
Did anybody ever see her movie? Remember we saw the preview for it. It looked really good. Was it good?
The Farewell you're talking about? Yeah, it's really good. I liked it a lot. But anyway, let's that's all I saw. Let's get into our feature presentation.
All right, 5 knuckle shuffles.
Oh, we're not doing a plot summary? No plot summaries? Gogs, what happened in this movie?
Well,
let
me tell you something about Robin.
I don't know
Loxley.
why it reminded me of that scene in Scott Pilgrim where like she's trying to buy time and she's like, Knives, why don't you tell how you met Scott? Or no, it's Scott's sister. How did you meet Scott? Well,
so movie opens and we're embraced in the we're trying to bring Christendom to the savages of the Moorish lands, and we're not doing a great job. And as a result, Robin of Loxley and Peter of Next Door are stuck in a sewer torture chamber with the Iron Sheik, and they're going to get their hands cut off for stealing bread. At the same time, Morgan Freeman finger blasted the Sheik's wife, and he's down there too.
Man,
so now, in almost like I guess the power of Christ compels roboticism, because in a Zuckerberg-esque wooden fashion, Robin of Loxley presents his wrists to be slashed off as English courage, but he's just sort of not emoting.
Where you're going.
Yeah, man.
So he's there.
This to Alec.
Yeah, no, we'll get through it. So then he yanks a thing. The knife gets hot. Stuff goes around. There's a lot of Christian help me.
Hang on, real quick, Gogs. Did you remember there being so much religion in this movie?
Oh yeah. Religion's a huge part of this movie.
I do not remember that at all.
I don't remember all the devil worship, but now that
was my favorite part.
I was like, that part slaps. So.
And the part where Alan Rickman takes the cross, it gets like an inverted cross or whatever, and he like turns it back down.
Yeah, he's like, still don't like it. so then, so Robin and Peter and Azim, which means Great One, escape from the sewer prison. Peter catches a hot one in the back. He gives his ring to Robin, and then they take a rowboat from Constantinople to the White Cliffs of Dover. So then Robin Hood makes sweet love to the ocean and the shore, but we cross-cut that, I forgot, with Robin's dad.
Azim has come with him because
Correct.
Robin saved his life, so he has to save Robin's life.
Yeah, it's a Chewbacca Han Solo situation.
It's a debt. It's a life debt. Yeah.
Yeah, so Azim's his Wookiee. So now we're I forgot to mention Robin's dad was just hanging out, just like sending a hot missive to, I don't know, the King of England, being like, yo, what's up with my kid? I heard he was with you. What potentate has him? And then a dude who will later not have eyes is like, bro, there's dudes outside. And then Robin Hood's dad's like, hell yeah. And then he grabs his shit to go handle business.
And then finds the
earliest
earliest version of the KKK out there.
Yeah, like he finds like Satan worshipping Dementors like hanging outside, and then they
to Hope Mountain to worship Satan.
Yeah, they go and they bull rush a man in full armor on a horse, and then they hang him in a basket, and they burn the castle down because he wouldn't join the Satan squad to overthrow the King of England. And so then Robin Hood comes back, and he kills a whole bunch of the sheriff's men because there's a kid in a tree, and our boy Michael Wincott's like, yeah.
His fucking acting, like, not that it was good in the first, 4 hours of the movie you described, but, like, it totally falls off a cliff when he starts having to do, like, all the hither and yither and who harmed this beautiful boy in mine property.
Have we retrieved the Satan himself? I love this movie, by the way, so I don't care. Whatever I bang on it during this whole thing, it's still going to get a pretty good score.
I like the part where Kevin Costner just gives up. He's like, fuck it.
Kevin Costner doesn't even try and do an English accent the entire time.
One of my favorite parts of the movie is that like everyone's accent is like something else. Like nobody can like settle on it. There wasn't like a guy on set that was like, "This is the dialect we're going for."
Morgan Rickman's the Moorish accent is more English than most of the English accents.
I just want to get this out of the way. Is Morgan Freeman being is a more like is that like brownwashing? Does it feel like he was miscast? It should have been like
were like historically, like, I guess you would consider them black. They were Spanish, but yeah, they were also African.
Were Persian and African. They were it was the greater Persian kingdom. It was like everyone were like Darius and stuff.
I don't know anything about the Moors. I only know about the Moops.
The card says Moops, but
the
like
card says my favorite.
Historically, I mean, they've always been portrayed by like black actors or Laurence Olivier in blackface. So like, I don't think that's like too far out of the realm.
Yeah,
realm. I like you. Realm.
So Robin,
he's like full on Keanu Reeves in My Private Idaho when he's doing his fucking Shakespeare in the Park. Like, sucks.
So Robin and Azim, not Aziz. Robin and Azim dispatch. Randy. So now he goes. They dispatch Michael Wincott. Go ahead.
Could anybody watch this movie and not think of like calling the characters by their names in fucking
Men in Tights?
Like, I was doing it the whole fucking movie, and I was like, Isaac
Hakeem,
Achu.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the only one that's different. Everybody else still has the same names.
Yeah.
Dude, Men in Tights rocks.
Yeah. Men in Tights does slap. So they fuck with Michael Wincott, kill a bunch of dudes, go to Robin's house. Robin's house fucked up. So like, all right, now what do we do? Oh, let's go to Marion's house. They said this broad that's not Marion because she's big and thick, and he's like, you're still hot, and then she tries to fuck with him, but then she doesn't. And then you're cross-cutting to Alan Rickman just openly just like debasing women and like consorting with a witch that lives in his walls and like
Gods or
consulting
Alex?
runes.
I have a question.
Isn't
real quick.
Isn't Alan Rickman in the witch his mother?
No, the witch raised
Well,
him.
The witch
he
is
his
the witch
mother.
is his mother.
Yeah.
She
No.
says it later.
Yes. Gogs,
'Cause
did
she's
you
like, when
watch did you watch the version on the Plex or did you watch a different version?
I watched the version on the Plex.
Because that's the one that TJ loaded is the extended cut that has a scene where she explicitly says she's his mother. She killed.
Oh, that's not. Oh.
She killed a baby and switched them so her son would be able to get
God,
power.
I uploaded the extended version.
I didn't. I watched
It's only like 10 extra minutes.
I think I watched I think I watched it on Netflix. I did not watch it necessarily on the Plex.
So the extended version has a scene that specifically calls that out towards like the end of the movie.
Oh.
So it is the witch is his mother.
Because I thought earlier in the movie she said that his parents died and she raised him.
That band Witch Mother.
Yeah.
Yes.
He doesn't know she's his mother, and it's a big surprise. She reveals it at the end. He thinks she's just a witch, and then she tells him at the end that she's actually his son and is doing all this because she wants her son to be the king or be in power.
Well, I also think it's interesting that like I didn't catch it. Like when I remember, like when I was a kid watching the movie, I don't remember her being like listening in the walls and stuff. That's kind of giving her like that false sense of being able to like predict stuff or know things. Like she's just manipulative. She's not mystical. But
I had a question, and it's probably just me not paying attention. But you or Alec will probably be able to clarify. When he sees Marion and she's like, the Robin I knew was a fucking like
spoiled bully,
a boy dick. Have they been on the Crusades for like 30 years? Like how long have they been
six?
gone?
They said 6 years, which is weird because it's like
he's 48 years old.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe the Crusades were on a different planet where time does something different. It turns into interstellar.
Fuck.
Yeah. But this little maneuver is going to cost us 34 years. But yeah, no, they were going for like 6 years, I think. So anyway, he's hanging out with Marion and is like, hey, what's up? And she's like, I don't know. And then he goes to figure out what's going on downtown. And like the Sheriff Nottingham is being a dick. And he's like, all right, well, we got to run away from these folks. Let's go into the woods. And so they go to the woods. And then they meet John Little and Red Scarlet and the guys who are in charge of Sherwood Forest Water and Power because this is their stream. And they fight with sticks. And in some inexplicable, like, frogman move, Kevin Costner swims through 8 inches of water, completely submerged, and punches dude in the dick, and then takes him back downtown, and now they're best friends. And
or
so
you
then
mention where he goes, I'm John Little, and he's like, are you John Little, or should I call you Little John? And then he goes fucking berserk, like Crispin Glover, and called it chicken.
Yeah.
It was great. So now you got now the merry men are forming. They are stealing stuff in ways that doesn't make a lick of sense. There's one scene where they murder a bunch of guards to steal some money, and then they hide their bodies to rot under mats of like leaves and dead shit to this jaunty little fun tune of like like that was murder. That was cold-blooded murder. There's a scene where this guy is like, there's like a baron walking his horse down the path through Sherwood Forest. And you think they would have, well, I guess they're the only road to get to London. And he's like, all of a sudden, Robin Hood's feet dangle in front of him. And he seems surprised that Robin's there. But I mean, the perspective of it, he would have seen Robin from like 50 yards away. Like, it doesn't make any sense how he gets the drop on him.
I think it's OSW review. He got Pearl Harbored from the front. So anyway, there's all this robbing and stealing and throwing chickens at people, and this keeps going on. And then there's missives that are being sent through the Pope or by the Pope or to the King or something. And then Alan Rickman's out here just chewing the scenery,
and he kills what's his name, which is like a low point in the movie.
He kills Michael Wincott.
They kill him way too early. Like he's so good in the movie, and they just like get rid of him like way too fast. It's like
they do need like a secondary villain, like for 4 hours of the middle of the movie where nothing happens.
They kill him like right away, and it's just like, oh, like I was like,
well, he has failed him a lot.
Yeah, but
like every time.
Like every time.
Yeah. But like everybody's like hyper incompetent in this fucking art, whatever you would call it.
Well, I don't know.
Magistrate force.
It kind of seems like up until this point they haven't been.
Yeah, things have been going just
like
fine until now.
They're raping and pillaging and take. I mean, they took Robin.
They took out
home.
Loxley.
Yeah, they took out they're rocking and rolling. He's not used to defeat.
All right, you're fair.
He's consolidating his power, and he's going to buy the. And the other thing I don't understand is he's the sheriff.
This cadre of fanatics.
Yeah, I call a Rockman involved.
So all this is going on. Villages are being burned, but then villages are being erected. There's a lot of fun montages of both construction and basically middle America militias with bows and arrows.
I was wondering how badly the construction bothered you.
You know what? There was the scene. What part? I didn't understand how the one bridge worked where Little John had to like leg himself over a guardrail to get to the bridge. Like, that doesn't seem fun. But
I don't understand why on that same bridge, why at the end it was okay for a woman and her child to swing across just on a rope, but then Little John had to tie a log to it for Robin to swing across.
Yeah. Oh no! I figured that out. The log was to give enough weight to get the rope to Robin.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because Robin takes the log off.
I've been wondering that for like.
He needed enough mass to swing it over there. He needed a pendulum. He needed a weight.
Maybe even longer. When did this movie come out? I guess I was 11.
90s. Yeah. So
holy shit.
There you go. I figured that one out.
I'm out. I'm done. I got what I need out of this podcast.
New favorite part of Robin Hood: the science.
The science.
The physics are outstanding.
Well, we're coming up on my favorite parts of the movie. One, you get introduced to Friar Tuck, who I love.
Yeah, Friar Tuck is great.
Friar Tuck's a fucking good time in this movie. And then you get the sheriff of Nottingham is talking to his witch mother, and she's like, yo, talk to those other fucking devil worshippers and get them involved. And then you get the fucking Picts to show up, and those dudes are rowdy. And then looks
like they're ready to take over the Capitol.
Yeah. They were having a good time with it. So they show up, they firebomb the forest, which you should, if you live in the woods, you should burn it all down anyway. Like it took way too long to get to that conclusion.
It's a pretty lush. It's a pretty lush forest. It's burned down.
It's a damp one. It'd be smoky.
Everything in Lakeland's damp.
So they fuck shit up. Then you get this so shit gets fucked up. Robin Hood lands through a thatched roof cottage. And they take a bunch of prisoners, and so people are getting their dicks flayed off or whatever's happening.
Pause real quick.
Go ahead.
This is where Will Scarlet and them get captured. Is this the point where in the movie?
Yeah.
This should have either taken place way earlier or way later, because this feels like the ramp up to the third act, but then it feels like there's 2 more hours of movie after this.
Yeah, well, it starts buttoning stuff up into a tiny little package right towards the end. Nice and neat.
I'm with Sean on this one. That is my biggest problem with this movie. Is its pacing and length. It's too long. It's too long. And maybe that's because I put the extended version on the Plex. But Alex said it's only 10 minutes. So
now I gotta watch the extended version. So that's what we're doing for my birthday pick. Ever watch the extended version?
God no.
So people are getting tortured and tortured, and they're like, "Yo, who can get me to Robin?" And then Will Scarlet's like, "I'll do it." It's like, "Hell yeah!" And so they send him out, and then you have this messianic. This movie is so Robin Hood is Christ-like in this movie in a way that I've not seen in movies in a very long time. There's a scene where Azim is I keep doing that. Azim's like, "Look, Christian," and you see Robin coming out of the smoke and debris, backlit, like a resurrection scene, and then he builds he back up in that S with the resurrection, and so then he builds a crude model of they confront Will Scarlet, and Will Scarlet has the "I want to believe in you" turn. Everyone just wants to believe in Robin Hood so bad, and I love it. Because
Will Scarlet also he convinced the sheriff to let him go do it so he could get out of getting tortured. And the sheriff's like, torture him anyway, so he looks tortured.
Yeah.
And kicks the shit out of him, then sends him.
Yeah, they have their Rain Man moment where it's like, Dad, just let me drive the car in Kmart in Cincinnati. Like, reveals that they're brothers.
Yeah, he had like his mom like plowed down with the old Loxley, and then like
plowed down.
Robin was pissy about it, so Robin flexed hard and kicked her ass to the curb. So then Will Scarlet had to go out and get the best hair in the island and learn how to throw daggers, and that became his terrible life.
Yeah, Will Scarlet, the OG island boy.
So
it's also like a little bit bizarre that Robin like buys this immediately. He's like, "Oh yeah, my dad fucks." Like,
my dad's a potent man. Yeah, he just inseminates. So now, and also
just supposedly escaped tortured and left, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm doubling down. Also, I'm your brother." He's like, "Yeah, cool, whatever."
He just really went for it. Like he checked a lot of boxes got checked with one character. Also, Azim invents gunpowder, and then it's like, all right, well, that's like we're just taking a big old leap right now.
And he delivers a baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He also cuts a baby. He performs a C-section.
Yeah.
Which then makes Friar Tuck go
Azim section, but we just shortened it.
Yeah, there you
go. And then that changes Friar Tuck's opinion of him, and also that wound would get very infected.
That woman is super dead.
She's 100% dead. Yeah.
So then they're like, all right, it's assault on pre-Saint 13th century, and they go, fuck this shit up.
Everybody with the zingers.
They're like, all right, here's your wedding gift, Maid Marian, because I'm gonna bang you in front of the Pope. But before I do that, you're gonna watch 8 men get hung. It's all right.
He goes to her and he says, "Here's your choice. You can marry me, or I'm going to kill everyone."
No, he's going to kill them regardless. He just doesn't kill the kids.
Also, I don't want to be like a pedant, but they're the Church of England. They don't have a pope.
Well, they did have a pope. That was the Great Schism. They had their own pope. They had 2 popes.
Pope is Catholic. They weren't Catholics.
I'm almost sure there was 2 popes at that time.
I feel like that's not true, but I'm going to defer to you because you actually went to college.
It's the great. I didn't go to college for pope. It doesn't matter.
That sounds like a good name. That sounds like a good name for an album. College for Pope.
I'm gonna look up after this.
I'm running for Jesus.
After this, I'm gonna look up the Great Schism, and then we can talk about that.
Gogs went to Gudger College.
Yeah, I heard of Pepperdine. Did you go to Pepperdine? So anyway, it's about to be like execution. Party Central. They infiltrate they do it up like Ocean's 11 styley, and everybody sort of slides in with their swords and their explosive barrels. But then Will Scarlet gets got because Wolf's like, "Fuck this dude," and so he's gonna get his head chopped off on a big old bucket of kaboom. So then they gotta like call an audible and just do new shit. So
a big old bucket of kaboom.
So
I'll tell you what, man, this third
I love this part of the movie.
It's like 5th act or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
5th act makes sense. Yeah.
Correct.
I was like on the edge of my seat watching it. I've seen the whole fucking thing before. Like all the bow and arrow shit. Like I was so fucking into it.
Part where he fucking takes the 2 arrows and he takes off the 1 feather and he fucking doubles up.
What is Kevin Costner and Kevin Reynolds' fascination with shooting through ropes? Because this is the 2nd movie in a row where that's been like integral to the ending of the movie.
They also have a fascination with hating each other because both movies they've done together. Right. Kevin Reynolds is left at the end of it and like not quite finished it.
That's funny.
It's not. Well, he had to go finish playing for the Mets, right? Like, is it the same Kevin Reynolds? I would assume.
Yeah, probably. There's probably only one.
So Robin Hood's like stabbing all these ropes from a distance with his bow, cutting stuff down. Little John goes full fucking thing and just clobbering times an entire gallows.
And then Azim starts blowing shit.
Yeah, in typical Islamic fashion, he starts blowing everything up.
Jeez, calm it down.
If anything, like the people in this, the locals around should be absolutely fucking bewildered. Like they've never seen an explosion.
No, yeah,
No, this should be black magic. This should be mysticism.
They should be losing their shit, running around like crazy people.
Yeah, like the trust that they had in him briefly prior should be totally gone at this point.
Yeah, but instead he rallies them in an "I love you, Spartacus" speech that just gets the entire proletariat to revolt against the bourgeoisie.
Doesn't he start it off just by yelling, "Christians! Christians!
Look at me! I'm not like you, but I fight with Robin Hood!"
As Marx taught us, that the proletariat would be led by a British lord conscripting everyone into his service.
They blew... Here's another thing, right? So they had that cart full of explosives. Like, it was so much explosion, it blew a Winnebago-sized hole in ramparts that were probably 4 feet thick of granite. Like, it made a big ass hole. Also, Bull brought down the portcullis on a bunch of guards, which I love.
When he went to shoot the arrow through the rope, which also not how hanging works, so that kid's head would have popped off. But how funny would it be if they just went quick into dead and he just shot the kid right in the face?
Oh, that would have been.
To make your point on the heads popping off, they make the point to say to keep the rope tight enough that they choke to death, and so their necks don't snap.
The thing you got to understand is I was paying next to zero attention at this point in the movie.
I know, that's why we're here to educate.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
So now they free all of the Merrymen, and then they go like almost Fast and the Furious level physics bizarre by loading themselves into a catapult and launching themselves into the inner portion of the castle, which I love.
That scene was apparently a big issue with the ratings when Will Scarlet says "fuck me," they cleared it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you gotta fuck me in there.
They had to it's changed. It's either dubbed or something in like most of the versions to just like something like, "Oh hell, he made it," or something like that.
I certainly did not remember a fuck in this movie. I was taken aback for a minute.
But when he says
that was just ad-libbed by Christian Slater, and the director's like, "Fuck it, keep it. Like, it's great, keep it in." At that point, they're towards the end of the movie. They're like, "Whatever, man. Like, it doesn't matter. Alan Rickman's doing whatever he wants. Just fucking keep it in." Yeah. Kevin Reynolds is at home, I guess.
So everybody,
he's planning out pre-production for Waterworld.
Pre-production on leaving Waterworld.
So now we're inside the castle, and like Alan Rickman is like, there's like a relatively graphic scene where he pops Maid Marian's legs open like on the ground in the temple.
He does have a great line where they're like, "Do you?" He's like, "Yeah, of course he does." Like,
it's awesome. He covers her face. Yeah. Alan Rickman is such a talent. I love him in this movie.
It's the best
so much.
So good.
So I want the Sheriff of Nottingham prequel. Like, that's what I want. I want the origin story.
Probably not going to get it now.
No, probably not. So So now they're in there. They're trying to smash a door with the sheriff's defaced statue. The witch goes through some, I don't know, back tunnels somehow to get a spear to stab Aziz.
Well, she knows all the...
God damn it!
She knows all the... she's been spying from the tunnels the whole time. She knows all the, like, back doors and secret passages.
She's also been, like, having prophecies about Morgan Freeman, correct? Or no?
Yes.
Yeah, she keeps saying that the painted man will be their death. Oh, that comes up a lot. There's a lot of asking about, like, why did God paint you? And there's a lot of that in this movie. There's a lot of confronting racism in a weird way.
Yeah, well, Kevin Costner solves racism at the jug band scene, but I guess my ignorance for this whole point is, like, are they aware of black people up until this point?
Yeah, they're the enemy. That's who they fight at the Crusades.
Right, but the painted thing, that makes it sound like they're totally unfamiliar with them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
I think it's just pejorative.
Commoners might not have.
It's like that episode of that Hulk Hogan reality show where he met a Jewish guy you realize that he's never met a Jewish person before. It's great.
Well, like, to Alex's point, like the kid who asks doesn't know any better, right? The kid's just like, why is your...
She's like a psychic.
Yeah, but no, but like the witch is just. I think it's just pejorative. I think it's just like a rude way of saying it, right? So anyway, they have a fight. She gets speared. Like somehow, she also defiled the.
I know she actually got speared, but I was thinking
she got Roman Reigns like and then boom.
Big dog.
He Superman punched her.
Let the big dog eat, and then somehow I guess they reloaded the catapult and sent Friar Tuck's fat ass in there because he has a great scene with the bishop where he throws a bunch of money on him and like yeets him out a window.
Yeah.
And that's gross. Like they show the overhead shot, and it's not really like close at all, but you can see his head is like splattered into a million pieces of blood everywhere. It's awesome.
So I guess that's how Friar Tuck became bishop, and then
Tuck.
Then they get there's a really fun sword fight between Alan Rickman and Robin of Locksley. The whole time you've got Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio screaming Robin, and then there's a bunch of stabbies, and then he gets hoisted his own petard because the sheriff of Nottingham gets stabbed with the bejeweled dagger that he had given Marion. And that he's done
for her protection.
And then Robin and the whole squad get fresh. They get fresh drip, and they go to have a little wood wedding where James Bond shows up. He's like, I won't give away the bride. And they're like,
he
I'm
shows
just
up
happy.
from a totally different movie. Like that's a reference, right?
Wait, what?
Movie Lionheart or what? There's a movie about King Richard the Lionheart where Sean Connery plays him.
You're right.
Oh, is this a shared universe?
I would assume so. Like, I think that's the whole point of getting him. Also, Bryan Adams is diegetic in this part.
Yes.
Like,
fuck yeah.
But like you get like
the theme song being in the entire movie, and it actually I don't think pops up till this point, right? And it's just
they do some instrumental little pieces at it.
They do it like how REM did the score to Man on the Moon. It's through the whole movie, but it's like sometimes it's slowed down, sometimes it's sped up. It's different instruments.
It's chopped and screwed.
Yeah, like when Marion sees Robin's butt at that spring, it's like being played on a lute. And also this is 2 movies in a row where Kevin Costner's had to show his whole ass, and I'm just like, all right, cool.
Oh, you had to. You don't think that was? You don't think
it's in his rider.
Yeah, exactly.
His ass was so white. Like,
dude, also, dude should do some push-ups. Like, no doubt. Like, come on,
damn.
Bro. Like, he was getting tortured.
Nobody did push-ups in the 1300s
legit,
or 1100s.
I'm with Team Gogs. Like, his body is a travesty.
Like, he should be either he was in a torture.
You're the only one of us that's allowed to say that, Sean, because you are a beef weasel now.
Well, thank you, but that's not the point. Is even when I was a big lunchbox, you got to know
the heart of a beef weasel, though.
It would not have been appropriate to be naked on screen, with that fucking Ricky Morton body he's carrying around. I keep making mid-'80s Georgia wrestling references to him, but that's what he looks like.
Yeah, he's a soft. But he was. Let's think about it, right? This movie takes place over the course of several months, right? Because they're talking about how the bounty goes up and this, that, and the other, right? And here's Robin Hood's life,
starving to death.
Correct. He should be ultra lean, right? And only thing that should be showing up after that is just straight muscle. Like he should be on HGH, should be gacked up.
D'Angelo in the "How Does It Feel" video, everything into his dick.
He should look like Lil Nas X. Like he should be just cut and just just dreamy.
What's that? Cum gutters?
Yeah, he should have those Abercrombies, man. But no, he's doughy, and he's just soft, and his ass is so white. Oh my God, it's so
like Mac Jones,
phenomenally white. Anyway, so now King Richard the Lionheart shows up at the wedding, and even he's got to blow Robin. He's like, I just can't believe you saved my entire kingdom. And then it's well, bang my cousin, and then
I like
the movie
Sean
ends.
Connery. Your Sean Connery's fun,
and I loved it.
You're best.
You're the best. Losers talk about their best. Winners go home and fuck Maid Marian.
She was Maid Marian.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's the movie.
I have a bonus feature. I went back and played 10 minutes of the NES Robin Hood game on an emulator.
Oh my god!
And
How
it
was that?
just as brown and unintelligible and meandering as this movie was.
I don't even remember the
It's like
video
a 3/4 isometric, and it's it's a Nintendo game, so like everything's like super cryptic unless you're 11 years old and just understand what to do out of hand.
yeah.
Right.
So it's no good.
Yeah. No, would not recommend.
Hard pass.
Yeah, like there's like the production like value that like they spent a lot of money on the movie. The movie looks good at times. Like it's
the same problem with Waterworld. It's like the color palette's super drab, and I understand it's a period piece, but like Excalibur, if you've ever seen that, the John Boorman movie, looks insane. Like I don't know. I guess we'll get into it in our dealies.
Yeah.
So like,
go ahead, Alec.
So
I need some production notes.
I read all kinds of shit about this movie. Like,
oh yeah.
I've been reading about this movie
production notes. We need to come up with a jingle
now. Alan Rickman, man, like he is so fucking good in this. Like him,
100%,
and Morgan Freeman, and I think Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. I think all three of them are really good in this movie.
Alan Rickman's really good.
I would say that everybody is good in this movie except Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner's
Alan
the
Rickman
worst.
is like transcendent, though.
He really is.
Every scene he is in is like the best scene of any movie I've ever seen. Like, it's so fucking good. Everything he does when he pops up, he's so evil, so arrogant.
He's great in the movie.
So like snarky and like, it's insane. And apparently, he got the script and he took it because it's like it was like his big follow up to Die Hard. I think Die Hard came out right before this. But in this, he's like, I can be even more over the top. But then he like. he said like the script was horrendous. So, like him and his roommates, I guess, or flatmates, were like comedians, and they all just like started writing ad-lib shit for him, and he just started doing it while they were filming. And a bunch of the shit, Kevin Reynolds was like, "Yeah, like keep it in, it's great." Like,
I don't give a fuck. I'm leaving after lunch.
Keep going.
That really is better.
Yeah, but like he is so goddamn good. Like the scene where like the two women are in the hallway like cowering from him after he like throws whatever in his servant's face. He's like, "You, my room, 10 o'clock. You, 10:15. Bring a friend.
Bring a friend."
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, he's just everything he does. Everything gravitates towards him.
That part where he has that little fit where he just stabs that meat on the unholy altar, and then the witch is like, "Something vexes thee." Like that moment makes me crack up every time.
Apparently they tried getting Kevin Costner to do an accent. And it was so bad they were just like, you know what, forget it. Like he was working with like a dialect coach and all kinds of shit, and eventually
open at them.
Eventually they just stopped, and that's why, or that's part of the reason why Christian Slater's accent is so bad.
Because
they told him they told him, well, you're from the same like area, you have the same father, you're both from Loxley. Like
pause, wait a minute.
You're both from Cleveland.
Accents are genetic, like they.
No, but they're both from the same like village, so the same area of.
But
so they would have the same like accent.
From pretty close.
I'm sorry.
Aren't Little John and the rest of them from pretty close to where they are?
Yeah, but Dundalk sounds different than Owings Mills, so you get it.
Oh, so it's a class thing.
Probably. But they were like, Christian, don't put so much effort into your accent because you're Kevin's brother and he can't do it. So just
I don't think this is as much of a fucking like, oh yeah, we got to think about that they're both from the same place as it is Star Trek Nemesis, where the young Picard clone has to be bald too, because like, why would he have hair if they're clones? You know what I mean?
Because he never had hair.
Right, because it's like you're a dumb-dumb watching this movie.
The genetic markers are the same. You would still have hair when you're young.
Right. Maybe Picard had like what is it called, like alopecia or whatever.
No, because there are definite flashback episodes and an episode where they get de-aged, where he 100% has hair.
Oh,
well, and it looks tremendous.
You did it. How about that?
Like this fucking like I love this movie so much. Like like I was not bored one bit watching it. I was just like enthralled and reliving my youthful Prince of Thieves love, I guess.
I watched this movie on the. I think I got this movie out of the library as a kid every other week. I love this movie
several times. This isn't something I only saw once.
Yeah, I
saw this movie a bunch
because I saw this. My mother took me, and like as a kid, I was so excited to see anything in the movie theater. Like I didn't give a fuck what it was, and I was bored as a kid watching this movie.
All right. Well,
like every time in this movie where like they show how much of a dipshit Robin is, like with like the telescope, and he's like looking through it and like swinging his sword trying to kill
God
guys.
Bless.
Oh, so fucking
He's
funny.
landed Gentry and he can't figure this out.
Alec, did you get the box office numbers for this? This is a huge hit, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it made like $400 million, and I think the budget was only like 40 or something.
It was like
that.
350 on 40 or something like that.
God damn! In
91.
3? 90, okay,
One.
Yeah.
It's a monstrous hit.
That is a huge hit.
Yeah, this movie did very well.
I guess that's why Kevin Costner is such a big star.
$390.5 on a budget of $48 million.
Holy fuck!
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It was the second highest grossing movie in '91, behind Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
Wow,
unbelievable.
In current dollars, that's $812 million. So over $750 million this movie made.
That's a lot of money. All right, well, let's get into Five Knuckle Shuffles. Alec.
9. Like, I fucking love this movie. Like,
I mean, respect.
I've been waiting.
Live your truth.
I've been waiting for Kevin Costner November since I thought of that title like 6 months ago.
Great title.
Because I've had this movie locked and loaded since then. Like, there was no chance. And if somehow we avoided this was going to be my birthday pick in February. Yeah. If somehow we didn't, I've been so excited to revisit this movie, and I'm really glad we did because I fucking loved it. I thought it was a blast. Like Kevin Costner is terrible in it.
He's so bad. He's so bad.
It's so funny to see, like, because literally, like, I mean, maybe there's probably some other bad performances in it, but all the other main like characters in it are so fucking good and everything. And it's like, I think Sean said it. It's like they're orbiting around Kevin Costner's like black hole of acting abilities.
Yeah,
you have like all these like legitimate, incredible actors and actresses who've done so many other incredible things, giving it their all. And Kevin Costner's probably giving it his all too. But it's like his all is like if I was the quarterback for like the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it my all, but it doesn't mean it's gonna do anything. But yeah, man, I love this, and like, God bless Alan Rickman. Like,
does that make Alan Rickman Tyreek Hill in this scenario?
Yeah. And Morgan Freeman is Travis Kelce somehow.
Yeah, let's go with it.
Yeah, man. Like I couldn't. I cannot say enough good things about this movie. Good for was it Morgan Creek Pictures?
Oh, that's who made
produced
this?
it. Yeah,
yeah.
They're not even a thing anymore.
I don't think they're still in business, but they made a lot of bangers.
I do remember that logo.
Morgan Creek Films.
Definitely
hang on just a second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
you're fine.
Reel off list of Morgan Creek Films. Young Guns, Dead Ringers.
Hell yeah.
Skin Deep, Major League.
Wait a minute, Dead Ringers is a fucking Cronenberg movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Major League, Renegades, Nightbreed, Young Guns 2.
Nightbreed? He made Nightbreed? Oh, shit.
The studio did.
The studio.
I love Nightbreed.
Young Guns 2, The Exorcist 3, Pacific Heights, Robin Hood.
Exorcist 3 slaps.
Free Jack, Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah.
Wow.
True Romance, Ace Ventura, Major Lake.
Goddamn.
This
Did they get
studio-
bought by somebody?
I'm just skipping and scrolling down to the end. Now they're still making stuff. Well,
they're
they
good.
have a movie coming out, an Exorcist sequel coming out in 2023.
No,
The last movie that they actually released. I guess they still release movies pretty consistently until The Thing remake.
Ooh,
Ugh.
the
the-
prequel.
That was the last
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, the
And then they
prequel.
made All Eyes on Me in 2017. And then they have an Exorcist sequel coming out in 2023.
That's
You
still
know
a lot
what?
of slaps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good for
Like
them.
they got a lot
More
of
hits than
winners.
misses.
Yeah, towards the end, like I really don't recognize very much. I recognize the names of some of this. They made Joanna Man, TJ's
Hell yeah.
favorite movie.
We one day we are going to review Joanna Man.
Yeah, some of the stuff towards the end is not nearly as good as the stuff at the beginning, but that's a hell of a run for that studio. Yeah, it's a 9. Like, give me this Alan Rickman and everything, like unhinged and just like whatever, man. I don't give a fuck about this movie. I'm going for it. TJ.
I gotta be honest. I respect your passion, Alec. But I did not care for this movie a lot. But I will say that. So I watched this movie. I watched this movie on like Tuesday morning, right? And honestly, today I kind of forgot the entire movie. Like I had to kind of remember it as you guys were talking about it. So I was going in thinking this was in like 4 territory for me. Like I really liked Alan Rickman. But I really liked what's his name, Top Gun, or what the fuck was his name?
Top Dollar.
Top dollar.
Yeah, I love that guy, but he dies.
Michael Wincott.
Michael Wincott. But like once he's gone, and Alan Rickman is great, but like when he's not on the screen, I'm like I just want him back. Like I don't really find any other characters compelling.
There's Poochie.
I liked the Friar guy, I guess, but I liked some of the action, but I felt like it was all too drawn out. Like I felt like there's a part in this movie where it's like about an hour in, and you're like, okay, the it's about to like ramp up to the end, right? And then I paused the movie and I did a classic movie, the podcast thing, and I'm like, there's an hour of this movie left.
Was it right around when Christian Slater gets captured?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was a little before then, but yeah, it's around that time. But it's like, there's an hour of this movie left. Like, I don't know. The first 10 minutes are like great though. Like it like captures you. And like, I liked how it started. It seemed like the pacing for this movie was like, oh, this is going to be an hour and a half. Like this movie's going to be like a banger swashbuckling adventure. And then it's just like stretched out. But the problem is that I ultimately feel like since I forgot most of the movie, I think it's stuck in like 5 territory for me. I think it's kind of forgettable.
The fact that you can't remember it and didn't like it bumped it up a number.
Yeah, because I think it's forgettable. I don't think it's like it's not bad enough where like I even remembered it or feel very strongly about it. I think it's just kind of there. So yeah, it's a 5 for me, dog. Gogs.
It's an 8 for me.
Jesus Christ.
I really like as I was watching it. So after watching Waterworld, right, I was like, uh-oh. I was kind of dreading this. And when I saw it was 2 hours and 35 minutes, I was like, oh no. And then I started getting into it. I don't know if it's just nostalgia feels or what, but I was kind of like right with it. I was like, okay. I still don't understand how Kevin Costner has had the story career that he's had. Like he's doing more acting.
We just said he had he was in a movie. He was the lead actor in a movie that made like a bazillion.
Right. But I mean, like, how do you even get his foot in the door? Like he can't.
What was before this in his career? Field of Dreams?
Dances with Wolves.
I think that was Well, there you go. I mean, like he's in.
But is he good in that?
Dances with Wolves was right before this.
So here's the thing.
But is he good in that?
Does it even matter if it's like a successful movie? Like if it's just like this guy makes money. He's like fucking Alex Smith. Like he's fucking horrible, but he kept winning games. So it's just I guess
regardless,
it's good.
He's trying. He's definitely
manager of movies.
I mean,
he's doing more in this movie than he was doing in Waterworld, which I liked. I love Morgan Freeman in this movie. I love Alan Rickman in this movie. Like I don't know. There's something about this movie that's like it's just so. It's like so old school. It's like an Errol Flynn. Like it's just like an old school type of movie they don't make anymore. Like, it's just so fucking big and masturbatory, and like I don't know. I loved it. I just like I was like right back into it, like as an 11-year-old going, hell yeah, let's go. Like all the shots, like like when the picks attack and everything, I was like, and I didn't expect to like. I expected to hate it. I expected this to get dragged. I was like, no, I'm right with it.
It's funny to me that you and Alec have like a childhood memory of this movie, because I really I never really connected to this movie as a kid. Like I don't really remember. I feel like I must have seen it, but I don't really remember it.
Did you have a sister that you lived with as a kid?
Yes.
Oh, well, I don't know then, because part of the reason is that it's a movie that me and my sister could both watch together.
My sister
And,
like exclusively. Sorry, go ahead.
We wouldn't fight over the like what we were gonna watch. It's something so like if it was on, we would watch it because we both enjoyed it. Yeah. It wasn't like fighting over what channel we were gonna watch.
Oh, I definitely had those kind of movies, but like my sister kind of exclusively just watched like cartoon movies, like Disney movies, and I hated those too. But like
Fritz the Cat.
No, like like Disney shit. Like we had all those
like
ugly,
Song of the South.
We had all those ugly like remember those Disney video VHS with the big plastic
Didn't you have
clamshell?
Song of the South? Didn't you tell that story, or like the fucking album or something?
No, we had again like I will say that like we had a ton of fucking videotapes. Like I guess it's like they just wanted me and my sister to shut up, so we had tons and tons of videotapes, and we had this Disney sing-along tape. Like, I don't know if you guys remember these, but they used to have, like, sing-along tapes that were, like, compilations, basically, from all their movies. And I guess this was made before, like, Song of the South got, like, blacklisted or whatever. But there's a song from the Zippity Doo-Dah song. Zippity Doo-Dah, Zippity
That's like the Disney anthem
song.
Yeah,
it's from Song of the South.
Yeah, Disney forever.
But but the clip they show during the sing along is from Song of the South. And then my God bless her, God rest her soul. But my grandmother was like, "Oh yeah, Song of the South was great." Like again, like one of those didn't see it as being like a racist movie, but like she loved it. I think we maybe had like a copy of it. We didn't have like an official release, but I know we definitely.
Yeah, I remember my grandmother had a copy of that at her house that we watched in the basement once or twice.
Yeah, but the only together movie me and my sister had was like we really liked Fievel Goes West and the other one, American Tail, the prequel to that. We love those movies, and some of the other like Don Bluth animated movies I liked. Like
all the Don Bluth animated movies were like super dark, like comparatively.
Yeah,
didn't Don Bluth do the Lord of the Rings? Didn't he do the Hobbit?
You're thinking of Ralph Bakshi.
Yeah. Well, there was two of them though, so Don Bluth might have done one of them.
But anyway,
the really weird one is Bakshi, yeah.
But anyway, I didn't have a lot of fondness for Robin Hood. I mean, I remember it. I feel like I remember its marketing more than the film, which is
honestly, I feel like we even had little plastic bows and arrows that like our parents got for us. Like,
I feel like I had
cheap like $3 KB toys.
Yeah,
bows and arrows that we like shot the shit out of all over the place too, with like those plastic suction cup arrows.
Yep,
they were all like bent.
And they sucked. They never stuck to anything.
Yeah, the suction cup was like hard plastic. It wasn't like rubber.
Yeah. So Gogs, you what was your score?
40? Mine was an 8. I might show it to my kids. I like this movie a lot. I was like, hell yeah.
Make sure they see the part where he says "fuck me."
Oh yeah, no.
And that's explaining what Allah is.
Yeah, I'll do my best. Well, we're Muslim here, so it's fine.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
TJ.
No, I already went.
Sean, then.
This is tough, man. This is either like a 4 or a 6. It's like not.
See, he's right where I was. He was right where I was.
Like I'll say it's a 6 because I gave Waterworld a 5, and this is like objectively a better movie? Question mark than Waterworld.
Yeah, it is.
Like even Christian Slater's pretty good. Like I think most of the performances are good. The problem is the movie's like parts of it are just like powerful boring. Like I think I put it on Facebook, but it's like the whole movie is the Endor sequence of Return of the Jedi for 3 hours. Like almost beat for beat. And the editing in this movie is fucking atrocious. Like it makes the action scenes like really boring sometimes because it does that we don't have any money reverse shot. It's like, hey, we're pulling the arrow and then cut the reaction of a guy falling off a horse, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And there's a really, really hard cut that was like super distracting where I don't know if this is because they stitched it for like the extended, but they're in the castle and then they're like in mid dialogue almost to do a hard cut to the forest, like to something totally unrelated.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I remember. Yeah. Now I remember.
Well,
I know what you're talking about.
it's like action movies of like action adventure, I guess you would call this movies of this era were like really boring. Like I think it was because they had to boil it down so it would make $800 million or whatever and appeal to everybody. But like we're out of the like kind of like insane Dolph Lundgren, Sylvester Stallone kind of like gritty action movies into this like
80s schlock. Yeah.
Like it feels like really sanitized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just bland, but like everybody's trying hard except for Kevin Costner, who's just fucking the worst. Like I don't know, it's fine, I guess. Like it wasn't as bad as Waterworld, but it is. Like I know you guys like it. You said it wasn't bored, but there's no reason for this movie to be 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
Oh no, that's not necessary.
So what's your score? You
I guess it's a 6.
Is it a 6 because me and Gogs loved it so much so you gave it the higher score?
No, it's a 6 because I gave Waterworld a 5, and I can't give this a 4 or a 5 because it's not as bad. Like I can't with a straight face be like, oh, this is as bad as Waterworld, which has one good actor in it.
Yeah, it is not as bad.
This one has like 5. But and also like, and this is just me, I hate fucking British history period pieces. Like I find nothing more fucking drab and boring.
I wonder if you're gonna like The Green Knight.
I mean, maybe. That's weird though, right? It's like an art movie.
Yeah,
this is just like
it's weird.
Yeah, I bet I would bet without having seen it, like my house, that this is better than the Ridley Scott Robin Hood movie.
Oh, no doubt.
Did you all hear Ridley Scott? He thinks this cracked me up when I saw the headline. Ridley Scott thinks that Marvel movies are boring. It's like, bro, have you watched any of your movies lately?
Blade Runner 2049 was too long, and that Robin Hood movie is like a half an hour longer.
Yeah.
Did he make which one? He made the one with Russell Crowe, right?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
There's another one after that with Taron Egerton and
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
That looked awful.
Is anybody like actually familiar with like the Robin Hood mythos beyond this movie?
I mean, honestly, there's the animated one.
I watched
the
Disney
from
one.
the Disney version.
Yeah.
Is
I like the
he
Disney
character in the Robin Hood mythos, or is he like a creation for this movie?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Is Morgan Freeman's character, is that like part of the actual Robin Hood story, or is that like a creation for this movie?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
He's not in the Disney movie.
I'm gonna bet it's a creation for this movie.
Well, at least they put something in it. I don't know.
All right.
It's just like I said. It's just kind of oatmeal. Like it's like whatever. It's not like offensively bad or anything. It's just like it's a movie.
Unfortunately, it's not enough of a movie to be a certified good-ass movie.
No.
I'll move the podcast. But what are we gonna do?
Did you guys see that they're making an Agatha TV show on Marvel or Disney Plus?
About Agatha Christie?
No, about Agatha from WandaVision.
Every time they announce something, I just think of this one like Penny Arcade panel where it's a guy just squeezing blood out of a rock as hard as he can. Like,
I don't know. Like all the new stuff they announced, I'm actually kind of excited for. Like, I want that X-Men '97 show to come out like tomorrow. I think that's gonna be great.
I'll watch that Hawkeye show if it's like the fucking Matt Fraction Hawkeye, but if it's just some other bullshit, I'm not super interested.
Well,
I don't know. The tone of it looks fairly light.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Fraction stuff was pretty light. It had like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, and Kingpin's supposed to be in it, so I'm like, if he's the villain, I'm like way in. Like that'll be awesome.
Anyway. I mean, that'd be great because then we can potentially see Daredevil show up in one of these movies in The Punisher.
Probably not reviewed Young Guns. But yeah, I know about Daredevil already.
I won't say anything.
Everybody already knows that.
Yeah.
Young Guns is one of those movies that I really honestly, I want to review Young Guns 2 for the show
I love
but
both of those.
I feel like we need to watch Young Guns
same.
1 first. So like,
I watched. You want to talk about movies you watched as a kid?
Yeah.
I watched Young Guns 1 and 2, and it wasn't an official tape. I taped it off at HBO, both of them, and
Like,
I watched those movies so much.
Yeah, I know. I watched that movie so much. Like, I pretended to be Billy the Kid in 1988. Like, that's how old we are. Like, I was like, I'm Billy the Kid.
And then I used to I bought, like, I got onto all these, like, history books about, like the whole, like, the actual Billy the Kid's, like, you know, the real life stuff and, like, all that bullshit and Pat Garrett and all that crap. Like, oh my God. It's one of those movies, we talked about this kind of with The Crow a little bit, but I'm, like, terrified to revisit it because I'm worried it's going to be bad.
We got to save it for Charlie Sheenuary or whatever, and we watch
Ooh, that's a good one. Charlie Sheenuary. That's good. I like that. God, that would be a fun month. There is a lot of Charlie Sheen out there.
Navy SEALs.
Ooh, oh my God, we could review Navy SEALs and Hot Shots, even though we do from comedies.
What's that movie with the aliens? Arrival.
Holy shit!
What's the movie with him?
The Arrival. Yeah.
What's the one with him and Bridget Fonda?
Bridget Fonda.
That I don't recall.
Oh, The Chase. No, that's another Charlie. That's a Charlie.
The Race?
That's Christy Swanson.
That's Christy.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm thinking the one with Christy Swanson. Maybe I got it wrong.
With Henry Rollins, where he's the cop.
Flea and Anthony.
What's the one where like the promo was them sliding down like I don't know a laundry chute with an explosion happening?
Oh, isn't that's like Getaway or Fastlane or something like that? Or
you know what I'm
Freeway?
talking about?
Yeah,
Freeway.
I do. I was thinking
Freeway?
of the Wraith.
The Wraith is cool too. All right. Anyway, next week it's Gogs' birthday pick. So.
Oh fuck. I will release that. Let me think that over. I'll release that.
How do you not have a pick?
I don't know, man. I'm not actually going to make us watch draft day.
If you don't pick draft day, I'm picking draft day. So feel free. We're watching that fucking movie, so feel free to burn off.
Come hell or high water watching draft day. All right, I'll have a pick for everyone this evening.
All right, we will. So next week is a surprise. It's Gogs' birthday. It's his big 21st birthday, so we're gonna get super drunk. It's gonna be fun. All right, everybody. Go eat your own ass and don't watch the Eternals. And have a good day.
My pick is the Eternals.
All right.
Oh, no. You can't. We can't. We have to go to the theater.
No. I'll find something.
All right, everybody.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Later, boys. Bye.